I made a shocking discovery today when I was hanging out over at MEUK's Discord server.
Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, did you hear what I said? It's all about
point to the gravity vector, and that's going to mean it's going to be constantly changing too. So the line that is level in one spot will be not parallel with the line that is level another spot.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's that's how you bend straight lines.
I don't know if bending straight lines as much as just describing what the geometry of a gravity vector in a sphere looks like.
Yeah, but isn't that a horizontal that you just ended up bending?
Not a horizontal, I just call it a curve.
Oh. But one of them's a vertical and it's perpendicular to a vertical, which...
Horizontal is planar.
That's horizontal though, isn't it?
No, it's the point. It's only the one point though that's used out of that line.
But the point is horizontal. That's not. No.
The points get together, right? You take only the point, which is the intersection between the gravity vector and the thing that's perpendicular to it, so the 90 degrees, right? They intersect at a point.
Right.
Point is going to be different for every single gravity vector. Right?
Is this isn't Euclidean geometry though? You're doing here. What is this?
Who cares whether it is or isn't? And those points together can represent the surface of the Earth, and whether you want to call that curved or whatever you want to call it doesn't really much matter. But it looks like a circle.
But the horizontal looks like a circle.
That's not, I don't know why you keep calling it that, but I'm telling you.
I'm just talking about reality, Scott.
Yeah, so am I. I don't know why you're talking about things like horizontal.
You keep going to a circle, like the vertical.
Yeah, the gravity vector
and the horizontal are perpendicular to each other. A level.
What level? I'm saying there's a line that's perpendicular to the gravity vector. It intersects at a point.
I just popped in to find out which model you subscribe to with your level.
And I'm just asking you whether you agree with that or not.
If I agree with what? The asking you thingy, or you going on and waffling on about bending horizontal lines around a circle?
Why do you keep saying horizontal? Why do you keep saying horizontal?
Because level is horizontal. That's what I'm here to prove, Scott.
Well, how are you going to prove that?
I've already done it geometrically with Euclidean geometry. I am now doing my water level proof, and I'm coming to ask you which model.
Isn't it definitional though?
What definitional?
Definitions of these words, right?
A water level? No, a water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal line. I'll put the model back in. I'm only here to try and find the model.
Bad. Why are you over talking me and ignoring what I'm saying? That's kind of...
Well, I'm going to be gone in a minute. Like I say, I've only dropped in for a quick.
So then it's better if you focus on the question.
I'm going to model my water level proof.
Well, look, if you're going to keep over talking me, it's just going to become pointless. It's like you come in here and you want to say things, but you don't want anyone else to say anything back, because then you'll start over talking them and saying
just
you got to go.
A or B. A do.
There's no good answer for that.
There's no.
The word level, and the word horizontal is a question of definitions, right?
Is it?
That's what you want to talk about.
No, I want to talk about the real life practical use of a water level. That's what I'm talking about.
You said that you proved that level is the same thing as horizontal.
Yes.
These are 2 words. So these are 2 words. So we're talking about the definitions of these words, aren't we?
No, level is the practical use of the word horizontal.
So aren't you telling me about the definition of the word level then?
Oh,
it's so tough.
Scott.
It's so hard.
I understand that you think level bends. Does it? Or is it a straight line? Tell me, Scott.
I can't keep track of which one's supposed to be which, but I understand the concept of something being level compared to, say, a gravity vector versus something being straight in a planar, in a 2-dimensional plane.
Right, okay. So you basically don't have an understanding of level then?
Well, I don't agree that they're the same thing. So I don't remember which one's supposed to be which. I always have to ask her which one, because I never think...
Oh, this is poor showing this, Scott. Does anybody else understand what level is, or do you think it's...
It doesn't really work like that. You can't just dismiss like that.
What?
The question for you is that how, in what way are you not talking about definitions? Can you not have an answer to that? I mean, it seems like it would be trivial.
What, the water level?
You came in here, you said level is the same thing as horizontal. And I said, well,
Yeah, that's a statement I've been making for 6 months.
Let me just finish. And I said, this is semantics. This is about the definition. You've been saying ever since I said that, no, not definition. It's not about that. And I fail yet to see how it's not about the definitions.
You say it's just semantics, but certain people have called me child abuser for what you call semantics.
Who's called you a child abuse? That's horrible.
Like the flat Earth, Cosmo.
Well,
He did it in this server.
That's
To my face, he said. And then after I left, you all talked about it.
Flight of Flat Earth has never been here as far as I know.
No. Cosmo.
Cosmonaut?
Yeah.
I never saw him do that. I wasn't here for that. That was when you guys had your debate. He called you a child abuser?
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the main culprits. So...
Because of why? Because you have a different definition for the word level?
Because I said level is a straight line on a horizontal plane, and they all get triggered. A bit like you.
Well, that's far too... Well, that's far... Look, I'm never going to call you a child abuser for that. That's crazy talk. Why did you keep... I mean, like, that should just be the end of a conversation, I think. Like, that should not be accepted, right? Like, no one should be calling anyone child abuser or stuff like that.
No, he got banned from Twitter for it as well.
Yeah, it's just not a good thing to do.
It's not a good thing for your team to do. So all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to clear my name by proving that a fact is a fact and that level is horizontal.
Well, okay, you can do that, but you should know though that you don't need to clear your name on being a child abuser because nobody.
I do because they carry you. You should see him on Twitter. Cosmo's still going. He's still in here.
Well, I'm going to talk about it in here.
Test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test.
So, can we have do you have? Does level bend?
Sure. Yes. So it's in construction. So I'm going to tell you. You need to get the level. You need to call it the level. You need to get the bubble. And if it's not in the middle, it's not going to be level.
No, that you're thinking of a spirit level. You're not understanding, are you?
Well, help us understand. What is your water level?
Sure.
I've been here the other day. Cosmo sorted it out. He's got guys to measure curvature.
Sure. So if you use the reference of this level, is it in the middle or is it on the side? You can move it. If you move it back to right, but there, it's going to block and respond.
Yeah.
So you need it in the middle. And if this is your preference, you can have square and you can have straight. This is how it works. Thank you.
Yeah. That didn't mean anything at all. I'm just not so sure you'll get very far with that.
Sure, yes. I've built houses with it. You can verify.
Right, so I say that the water level's horizontal, and you say it's what?
Sure, it doesn't matter.
Is it horizontal? Does a water level define a horizontal line of plane?
Stop your talking for a minute and listen. Sure. So it doesn't matter if Mickey Mouse, is pulling it and making it that. Doesn't matter. As long as it's in the middle, it's going to be level and it works. Doesn't matter what you call it because it's Santa Claus. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's not going to work for very long. Right, I'm going to put in the chat here a water level, like the actual tool. Water level.
How big is it?
What? Well, that's the question to you. It says it's a tool that defines a horizontal plane, right? It also says that it's more accurate over distance because it's lower tech than a laser level. It also says you don't need a line of sight for it. So you don't need to see the other end. So the question to you lot is, at what point does that water level stop making a horizontal? That's not a question.
There is no one point. It's a matter of precision.
Sure. So listen, it's in the center. So you get the center of the core of the earth. So from up, you look anywhere. It is always going to be level from there. This is the reference. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't mean anything at all, did it? So
You can take my answer to the bank there. It's a matter of precision.
it's a measure of what? Precision.
It matters. You just don't understand it. So
I
if you're in the Middle
can't talk
East,
over this
yes,
dribble, so
sure. If it's in the
Reckon-
Middle East,
hang on,
Reckonor is
Beth,
done. I'll answer your question.
They
doesn't
argue
matter.
that
It's
Reckon
going to be the
a
same.
snooker ball is completely level.
Reckon, can you wait for a
The
minute?
other way around.
Can you let Kerr finish his point there? please?
Sure. Sure. Go for it, Curves. Go for it.
As I told you, your water level is going to do a good job of establishing horizontal locally over short distances. The greater the distance, the more the inaccuracy of it being level at each end from the center point or from each other.
Yeah, exactly. Why I was asking which model. Did you get on? Did you get? I understand now. Wait. Look, I'll put it in again. A or B? Which model?
No, your A or B is severely lacking.
Why?
Okay, you're going to need more than that. We need more reference.
What do you mean? You guys have given us the numbers, though, haven't you? You know, like you do have numbers, don't you?
What do the lines represent?
The surface of the water in your imagination.
The surface of the water.
Yes.
Right. Where is up and down?
What do you mean? Like, can you see the guy that stood at the end, the one crying? Then that'll give you your reference for up and down, won't it?
Okay. With that being the vertical, A is out. Water doesn't do that on our planet.
So not A.
B is closer.
Okay.
Scales really massively off.
Yeah, but you're going with the constant drop B. That's all I was after. Thank you very much. I'm going to model this.
If you think that's
What's
right.
the,
Well, okay, so you
this is
agree with
the
us and you think you have-
Anyone else?
Yes. So you can
what have
explain.
you done, Bev?
Sure. Hang on a
What have
second.
you done with the? Hang on, Reckon. What have you done, Bev, with the water level? How far have you taken a water level? What's the longest water level you've done to determine
27 miles I've got.
with the water level?
Yeah.
27-mile long water level?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
You got a water tube. You got a tube 27 miles.
Wow,
long.
it's like a big trench.
So you didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been working on this for 6 months. Yeah, it just so happens that I live in a place called the West Lancashire Coastal Plain, and we have the start of the Leeds to Liverpool Canal, and it goes 27 miles without locks.
Well, how do you know that it's not curved though?
It's water level. That's what I mean. I've been on a mission to get my proofs that the water level is horizontal. It's not hard. It's reality.
Presuppose that it'll do that.
No.
You've presupposed it'll do that, then you've got a lock and you've proved it to yourself.
No, I've already done a Euclidean geometry
Be honest.
proof.
How do you know the water's level? How do you know it's level from point A to point B?
But
How do you know it?
do you want it? What do you want? The geometric one or the water level one? I'm still working on the water level one, but the geometric one. You want that?
Sure.
Right. Water level is horizontal, right? So you just find a stretch of water above a mile long. Drop a
You just made a presupposition there.
drop a plumb bob, like a reality tool, over the level. What's that? One of them's
Using our definition of level,
yep,
So here's the thing to say.
horizontal.
Here's the story. So you're standing, you know where you are, in California, wherever, and you go to level, and you make sure you know this level, you know it's good, you know the bubble, you know the talking, you moron.
Yeah, that doesn't work, reckon all that. I don't know what sort of.
Reckon or. Just quit with the bubbles, reckon or.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. How did you determine the canal to trench level?
Sorry.
How did you determine that the water level was planar straight in this trench?
Because water level is horizontal. It's a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference, isn't it?
So it is a presupposition. Though. It is an assumption that you're making at the beginning.
Well, I mean, like, you could call it that as an assumption, couldn't you? But I mean, like, I've been taught that, and have you not? Or are you just making stuff up now?
No, I haven't been taught that. But I guess I was asking, how did you prove it was that?
But level isn't horizontal. You've been taught that level is not horizontal, have you?
I was asking, how did you prove it was planar straight?
Who taught you that level wasn't horizontal?
I was asking, how did you prove it was planar straight? And your answer was that because it is, basically.
Water level, yeah. Like
So it wasn't really that isn't really a proof of why it's planar straight, though, because it's just you assuming.
No. The proof, I've got a geometric proof, and then I've got a water level tool proof that I'm just drawing up. I'll come back to it. The geometric proof is, you know how vertical and horizontal work?
Sure. No.
Right. So a vertical is a plumb bob in reality.
Oh, okay.
And a level is a horizontal in reality, isn't it?
Okay, sure.
So if you drop a plumb bob over a level, they are 90 degrees perpendicular to each other, aren't they?
Fine, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you find a long stretch of water, you go to one end of it, and you drop a plumb bob to the water.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's 90 degrees perpendicular to the level underneath, isn't it?
Well, how do you know? How can you tell the difference between true 90 degrees?
No, it's just is, isn't it? If it's not 90 degrees, what is it, Scott?
Well, I'm saying, how can you tell the difference between truly 90 degrees and say something that was a very, 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 very large curve, so that it appears to be say 89.999999999?
So, okay. So what are you going to say? It's a curve, horizontal? Are you going? This is, remember, Scott, this is a geometric proof.
Yeah,
So yes, okay. So in geometry, a vertical and a horizontal are perpendicular. Yes.
End of Bev's experiment.
So then I'm asking, when you drop that plumb bob, how do you know that what you're seeing there is actually level and not just very close to it?
Because a vertical is a plumb bob in reality, and a horizontal is a level in reality.
How do you know that what you're looking at is horizontal?
You don't. Hey, real quick.
Okay.
Definition.
So are you saying then a water level is not a tool for establishing a horizontal?
No, I was talking. Okay, I was trying to get your attention, and I was speaking before you began, long before.
Sorry, didn't hear you.
Don't act like I wasn't. Okay, now I'm about to post it. I want you to pay attention. Read this. Hang on, I pasted it twice. I'm going to back up. Jesus Christ.
Where's this?
Give Curve the minute, he usually only uses one finger.
Did he interrupt Babs? Who did he?
Never mind the level surface at the end. That's the beginning again. I'd like for you to read that very quickly, Bev.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what I came in here for. Like, which curved model do you go with? No, I came in. I'm finishing off my proof, my second proof.
And do you understand
the question was, I understand that you think it's curved. I was asking which model you subscribe to.
Bev, I did not write that.
I think
that's copied and pasted from a website on
okay.
Leveling.
Yeah, did you see the whole Wikipedia thing that I just posted before about a water level? Or did you just disregard that and go like, I'll copy and paste something else?
Yes.
You know, I only came in here to find out which curved model you subscribe to, because it will matter in my water level proof.
The globe model.
Yeah. Which one?
You're not doing anything to
The
establish
globe
what's
model.
going on in your proof.
Because I'm not giving it yet. I'm trying to work out a way that I can give it to you. So please, which model of the water level curving
Well,
do you subscribe to? A or B?
what's the difference between A
The,
and B?
the consensus is B at the minute. Well, I'm going to model it on my water level proof.
Can you hear me?
A has a rise.
Yeah,
These are two curves.
Yes.
One's twisted away
The-
from the other.
Yeah,
not model,
one
but
drops away and the other one rises to find a level over distance.
They'd be the
B
ones
is more like what
better,
we have.
They both match our model, actually.
A and B.
No, they
Not
don't.
really.
They do.
No, Dawn.
Not really.
The man
Nothing
is
ever lines
vertical.
up.
The man is vertical, Dawn. That does not happen.
Okay.
Okay, A is out the window.
What?
I mean,
We
it
can
doesn't-
explain
it
this
doesn't
No,
matter.
no, no.
later.
You can stand like that on Earth and make A. That's
You
fine.
can, but it's a little silly. It's a little silly.
Anyone can.
You're right.
Whoa,
It's a little
what
silly.
did-
So major consensus is B then, right?
Yeah.
What
B,
did Dawn
B.
just
That's
say?
it. Sweet.
He said you can stand that way if you want, but he's right. It's
A
just silly
is
though.
vertical, Dawn.
I think B's the strangest one. Once you understand how a water level works,
So much
I'll show you.
communication going on.
I'll go.
Being an idiot, Dawn.
It's
Thanks.
They're
Well,
not a
isn't it
model,
when you-
Bev. They're not models. They're just curves.
You're right
They
about
both
that. You're
kind
right.
of fit
You're right.
reality if you stretch your mind.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
You have to stretch your mind.
They're both a
To-
man on a curve, which is our model. Right?
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. But B. I'll go with drawing up B. I've already drawn.
I mean,
My-
You just know though that we're a little bit unclear on exactly what all you're
Well,
taking from this.
I'll come back.
What do you
I'll
get?
come back with it
What's your purpose?
just for you.
What's your purpose of asking these questions about A and B?
Because I'm trying to work out the consensus of how you guys imagine the water level to be.
Yeah, you've told us that already, but
Yeah.
what are you going to do with once you've worked out the consensus?
I'm gonna go and map my water level proof on with your model to prove
And how-
that it doesn't work. Well, I'll show you.
Well, what method are you going to use to map it?
Water levels
Yeah,
and
what method?
how water levels work. Like the tool.
Let's just see his proof when he's ready. He's not ready.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll bring it back when
Obviously
later.
got something in mind, Scott. He's obviously got some plan in mind.
Yeah, but
Yeah, this is.
If he keeps saying I'm gonna bring it back, I'm gonna bring it back every time he asks a question, I don't know why.
All right, dude. I'm just
clearly doesn't
I'm
know.
recording a
Yeah.
old gems one.
You can save some time here. Because if he's planning on taking a small water level at one point and checking it with, say, the surface of the water there, is it level with both ends of the tubes of the water level?
Yeah, you getting it?
To the surface of the water.
Getting it?
Point A.
Yeah.
And then move down the canal. Is the same condition met at point B? Move down. Is the same condition. And pretend. Establishing that it's a plane.
Yeah.
The entire thing is a waste of time.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was trying to say.
Keep thinking about it.
Jumped in to say to post that definition, which is what I didn't get to finish saying. Which is
Well,
that
definitions
when-
are gonna confuse them.
So
He
that,
needs-
well,
he
you, I
needs to
said
work
when
with
you,
pictures.
I said when you jumped in to post that definition is when I didn't get to finish what I was saying. So Bev, on this first proof of yours, let me just say one thing to you. You can respond or not respond, but just that when you drop a plumb line,
Yep.
and then you look at what's intersecting it or what's there, what I'm saying is that if you're not measuring that with some kind of precision that can distinguish between a truly horizontal line there or a very, very slightly curved line, then it's not really a proof.
What? Like
If you're not
listen,
measuring-
Scott. Geometric proof.
Well, if you're saying that if you're a priori saying that it's going to be perpendicular, well, then you're not really saying anything.
Geometric proof. You know how Euclidean geometry works.
If you're a priori claiming that's going to be a perpendicular line, well, then you're not proving that it's a perpendicular line.
Geometrically, Scott.
I understand. I'm
Yeah.
speaking geometrically.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
a priori
the rules are set out in the geometry. Like I don't have to prove that it's perpendicular to it. That's within the rules of the geometry we're dealing with.
if you But if you claim it's perpendicular, then you're not proving to anyone that the real world follows.
Listen, Scott, I said a geometric proof
So, but how
that the water level is horizontal. I've done it.
Why do you say water? Why do you say water level? Why are you saying water level in a geometric proof?
Because that's how you do it.
That's
No,
what I'm
it's
saying.
not.
Yeah, it is.
Hold on, dog shot. Let me finish. If you're trying to match that to actual water in the real world, that makes it the kind of thing I'm talking about. And in order to be able to do that, you'd have to measure to the precision that I was talking about, and that's what makes it not a proof. You can't connect up your geometry thing you're doing there with the water level without doing some really precise measurements.
Oh, well, like, because it's geometric. Like,
Yeah, but geometric isn't necessarily the same as the geometry of the real world. Right? We want to model the real world geometrically, and you're not doing it correctly.
why? How would you model it?
You're fiating that the water line, the water level, you're fiating that it is a perpendicular line to the bob.
Yeah. How would you suppose to do geometry then? You know, like what?
Well, that's the question. Is if you want to say something about the actual water level or the water line, then you're going to have to measure to find out, is it actually perpendicular to the bob?
Do you have a
You
look?
could do that with
Have
the
a look in the chat there now.
Bedford Lab experiment.
Have a look in the chat.
I'm looking. What about it?
What's that?
It looks like a map and some.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? You know what a map is?
Of course.
Geometric representation of the land to scale.
But is it a perfect representation?
It's a geometric representation, isn't it?
It's
So
geometry, but
if
it's not
so if
you wouldn't use it to prove something.
if I was giving you a geometrical proof of the horizontal, then I would just use the levels of that and draw it out, wouldn't I?
No, that wouldn't prove anything.
Geometrically.
No, it wouldn't prove anything.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
You'd have to be able to establish that the actual physical
Like
water level.
the water level between the canals is horizontal. Yeah. That's the way it works.
That's the thing you want to prove.
Geometrically, yeah.
Yeah, so you can't do that.
Geometrically.
Yeah, but you can't do that if you assume it.
Geometrically, it's horizontal, though, isn't it, Scott? You know, like it's a very definite, easy proof. Geometrically,
You're assuming.
I'm not assuming anything.
Geometrically.
That's exactly how geometry works.
Well, no, you
Exactly.
are assuming that it's horizontal.
Because, like, geometry does mean Earth measurement, and that's what they do. They measure the Earth and then represent that on paper. Geometry.
So did you do that measurement, or did you do it precise?
Yeah, I've got a scale ruler here.
And is it precise enough to tell the difference between?
Yeah, 1 to 50,000. Yeah. It's an ordnance survey map.
But how precise is it?
What do you mean? How to precise? It's 1 to 50,000.
Well, when you drop a plumb bob, and you try to measure how perpendicular is the thing that it's crossing, the surface of the water, let's call it. How precise is the thing you use to measure that surface?
It's geometric proof, Scott.
You didn't measure that surface, did you?
It's geometric proof, Scott.
It's not relevant to the real world then. So you're just describing a fantasy world.
No. Geometry is the measurement of the Earth. They transpose that onto the map. Then if you get that, you are doing geometry by transposing it back into the triangles or whatever.
No, you can't use that to make proofs about the shape of the planet. You can't, because those are approximations.
Listen, Scott, geometric proof.
Geometric. I understand what it is.
Yeah.
But you're not doing it. If you're doing a pure geometric proof and not connecting it to the real world, then you're not doing anything.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
you are connecting it to the real world.
don't be worried about it. I only said it's a geometric proof that the water level's horizontal.
I know. I'm only explaining why it's relevant or not relevant. And so far, it seems like it's irrelevant.
Well, it seems pretty relevant to you because you're getting upset. I mean,
I promise you, I'm so far from upset. I'm sorry if it feels that way to you, but this is not me upset. Yeah, trust me.
Yeah.
But I am trying to say to you, I am trying to say, and I'm having to talk fast because you interrupt a lot, that unless you are measuring the actual surface of the water, you can't then connect this to the water level.
Okay. So, like I said right at the very beginning, I'm only out to clear my name from somebody calling me a child abuser for saying level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
I understand that.
So that's all I'm trying to do.
From my perspective, there's no doubt that you are not that, and that I can't believe somebody calls you that, and I've already sent a note to that person, but I'm sorry that happened.
But you're not going to agree with me, are you? that
what you're
level
saying
is
is
a straight line on a horizontal plane.
What about the
I mean-
definition I posted?
So, yeah.
It disagrees with you. You realize that.
Yeah, I do realise that. But then I keep coming up with proofs that it is. Like, have you... What? Yeah, but have you got anything to back up your geometry?
Yeah. Yes.
To prove how it curves, the water level?
Yes.
Okay.
Vertical,
So you have a measurement of the curvature of the water level, do you?
vertical lines diverge over distance. When they're separated by distance, they diverge. Vertical is not parallel. How many times do I got to tell you that?
What's the? How do they do that then?
So,
How do they do that?
it again. Did you hear what I said? Can you tell me what I said, please?
You said something about vertical lines diverging, but that's not what verticals do, is it?
Yes.
No. Because a vertical's a very definite position. If it's not in the same position as a vertical, it's not vertical.
Bev, do you understand what I'm saying? That if you're at position A and you have a vertical line at A and some distance away, the greater the distance, the more the divergence at point B, that those two vertical lines are not parallel.
That doesn't happen in Euclidean geometry, though, does it?
Euclidean geometry does not address this.
Well, okay. Well, that's the geometry surveyors use.
Gravity.
You know.
Show me gravity in Euclidean geometry.
It's not there.
Now, the radius is going to basically most closely approximate the vector of gravity. A radius.
Okay.
Through the surface of the Earth out into space.
Okay. So which geometry are you using then? Because, like I say, I use Euclidean geometry. When I transpose everything off a map...
Euclidean.
Yeah. I presuppose that everything on the map is a straight line, and the distance between every point on that map is still a straight line.
Do that when you know that all flat maps are distorted.
Where does it say that? From like a center point? Is it? Do all maps have a center point and they get more disaccurate?
I can't hear you. You know why? Because I'm still talking when you come back with something, and I can't keep up with you. I don't even know why I'm trying. You're a hopeless lost case to begin with, so somebody else take it with this guy. But please just be accurate, whoever talks to him.
Nice try.
Are you trying to say that because you measure 90 degrees multiple places, the Earth's flat?
Trying to clear my name because somebody called me a child abuser.
Oh, well, just tell the people.
Just here to clear your name. You're not
teaching my kids is not child abuse.
Ow.
You're fine. You're not a child abuser.
Yeah.
You don't think somebody would be a child abuser for saying an argument about the shape of the planet, right? That's an absurd thing to think, right?
No. Yeah, I'm fine, but I'm here to prove that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. Because it is. That is a fact.
Let's just drop that part.
Well, if you're going to, but we're not on the horizontal
level
plane.
to the hub. Otherwise, my motorbike.
Wait. He's saying it's level on the horizontal plane, which is fine, really. We're not on horizontal plane, though.
Yeah. I mean, level can mean that, so you're fine. Yeah.
So level can mean.
Yes.
That it's okay for that.
On a horizontal plane, yeah.
Baba booey, baba booey, baba booey.
Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. Not if, level is. Yes. It's a statement.
Quite a few different things.
You keep presupposing that, and you keep telling yourself that, mate. You'll be right.
Yeah, I've been taught that.
Horizontal. I wonder why that is. Why do surveyors distinguish between level and horizontal?
They don't.
Because they do.
Oh.
You sure they don't?
Which surveyors are you talking about?
Geodetic ones.
Ah, right. Well, they've got measurements, the curvature measurements, because again, Cosmos told us they have. They've got your measurements for you. So, if I were you, go and ask them what the measurements are. Get them to explain it to you. Then they can tell you, because they've measured it.
So the curve just said they make a
I just
distinction.
ignore Cosmo.
Oh well, he says claims, and he's making claims that I don't think you guys can fit.
He also called you a child abuser. He's not somebody we're going to support.
Yeah.
But Curve said a point, though, that I think is worth responding to, which is he said that surveyors make a distinction between these things, and you said they don't. And then I said geodetic surveys, and they seem to agree that they do.
Which geodetic surveyors are you talking about? Just like two in particular, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to get onto that after I've presented my proofs that it's horizontal. Then we can talk with them guys, and they can tell you all about at what point a horizontal bends. But they can explain that. I'm not going to be able to explain how they do that.
What's your proof then?
What do you,
I'll go and finish drawing it.
Drawing it?
Yeah.
Wait.
So you can understand.
Yeah,
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to consider that proof if it's just a drawing.
Well,
I've already given
what
my
are you-
geometric
what are you
proof.
gonna prove is
You don't
horizontal?
really accept that either.
What is it you're going to prove that is horizontal?
The
Your
what?
drawing.
The water. This next one will be a water level proof.
Okay.
Did you write down your first one? Is it written down somewhere or something? Because maybe if I read it, I would understand what you're saying better.
No, I've not. I've done that. I've sort of give you an idea so you can have an example of what's going.
Instead of a proof.
Pardon?
Well, it might be a
Would you
proof.
mind
It
just
might be a
calling
proof. It might be a
diagram?
proof. We have to see it. Because there are in geometry there are proofs that are purely pictures.
Yeah.
It's like you can demonstrate something
Okay.
exists. Like,
Yeah, my proof. You know, I'm not saying you have to take it as your proof. I'm just offering up my proof.
I see.
Yeah?
Sure.
Cool.
It's a little bit of a stretch of the word, but that way I can roll with that. And the first one is the proof. Does the first one prove anything about the real world, or is the first one a proof about geometric concepts?
It's a geometric proof
And it stays with
of a horizontal level. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Fair enough.
I guess along with it, it also gives you a geometric proof that verticals are parallel. Horizontals are parallel.
Do you have any?
But that's
idea
just geometric.
When this will be finished?
What?
Well, your drawing's going to be 27 miles, right?
I'm not asking for.
Oh, I might scale it down. You know.
If you're scaling it down, how long do you think it'll take you to get an end result for us?
Please do scale it down. Please. The last thing we want to do, Loz, is look at a 27-mile long drawing.
Yeah. It's a theoretical concept, but I think you'll get the gist.
Okay.
Not proof.
Right. So your theoretical concept is going to be proof. Is that what you're telling us?
Pardon?
We gotta look
I don't know. It depends what you take from it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put pressure on you.
His whole premise, Scott.
Yeah. I'm not trying to put pressure on you,
I'm
Ben. I just want a general idea of when you think you'll get this done by.
I'll probably get the second drawing done a bit later on today, hopefully.
Awesome.
Sweet.
I'll wait till later today.
It's a couple hours for that proof to be done. That's good.
Yeah.
It's already
So are you
12:30
planning
a.m.
to go out on the canal?
Pardon?
Are you planning on going out to the canal and doing something physically, or is this simply drawings?
I've already been out to the canal. You can walk along the canal. Yeah, just the canal's already there. You know, it's
Okay, but what did you do to demonstrate that, these points, X distance above the surface of the water, are coplanar?
It's
not curving following the curve of the surface.
level. Yeah, the water level.
No, see, you
How
did
did you know they were
nothing.
coplanar?
You did nothing.
But how did you show they were coplanar?
The water level is horizontal. Like it.
So you're just.
I don't. It's not something that I have to prove that. I don't do that. It's not one of. What?
Isn't that what you're trying to prove? You said you're trying to prove that water level is horizontal.
Well, like water, it's a fact that water level is horizontal.
If you believe that, why are you trying to prove it?
Because some people don't accept it. Some people think that level curves, don't they?
But if you want to make a proof that will convince somebody who doesn't believe that, you can't use that as a fact.
I can use whatever. I can use reality though, can't I?
You asserting it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as you asserting it. If you don't show that these points
Yeah,
are planar,
yeah. Like I don't have to sort of put this proof on you. You don't have to accept it.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
This is an interesting proof. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Sweet.
It's very unorthodox.
Yeah, it is.
Calling a proof is interesting.
Yeah, that's much more interesting than the proof. Calling it proof.
Sweet.
What's interesting about drawing a picture that has no bearing or relationship to reality and calling it interesting.
Oh, that's no bearing on reality. That's where you might be getting mixed up, because I think I'm coming from a reality view of level.
And you're not.
But you need to be able to confirm that, don't you? That's the thing. You need to be able to check that what you're hypothesizing.
Well, yeah, but would you not say that you should be able to go, you chucking water level horizontal? Look, it's been measured. We know there's a curve to it, shouldn't you?
Yeah, it has. I do say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why has nobody ever offered up this measurement of the water level, the curvature of it?
Over and over.
We've seen it.
How do you not know what type of curve the water level has then?
What do you think the Earth curve calculator is? It tells us exactly what the curve is.
Sweet. So that's what you're saying, like a water level curves at that rate.
Yeah. Well, at the correct rate.
Okay. Well, I'll try and map that into the into my proof later for the water level.
You use water Bisland's calculator. That's the accurate one.
But it's like a drop away, isn't it?
A drop away?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's like a drop away. Yeah. From where you're standing,
yeah. Okay.
If you used...
Yeah, I would imagine that'd be quite difficult for me to sort that.
Multiple points where, it bends up, to get your elevation of the level. And it's a long tube that's connected over many miles. Each one, if everything in it works right, you got your pressures right and all that kind of crap, no other problems. Yeah, your water level is going to show that the height that you're establishing is the same height above the water all the way along the surface of the water at all of the points.
Yeah.
What you have not done and will not do is establish that all of those points are coplanar in the axis parallel to the surface of the Earth.
Huh.
You just will not.
Hmm. Do you know how a water level the tool works, don't you?
What are we doing?
Bev, can I confirm something with what you're planning to do? You're going to drop plumb bob to the surface of the water, then use a square to show that the plumb bob is square to the water, and then do that again.
Geometrically, I've already done that.
And
geometrically.
How far apart are how far apart are your plumb bobs going to be from each other when you do this?
To be like 27 miles, like total length across the canal, but it's like 15 miles as the crow flies.
How many plumb bobs are you going to use across?
Well, you can theoretically do it all the way along, can't you?
So how are you going to relate the angle to the angle of the other?
Well, one's a vertical and the other one's a horizontal, geometrically, isn't it?
And what height? Hang on, guys. What height are you dropping the plumb bobs from?
It's vertical, geometrically, isn't it?
Guys, he's not physically doing this. You guys are missing what he's saying. He's not physically doing this.
He's got to physically do it.
Geometrically.
But even if he did physically do it, his plumb bob is going to be perpendicular to the surface of the water everywhere he goes. So what's the top?
Well,
the top of the string of the plumb bob. The top of the plumb bobs, he's got to have them at the same distances too, right?
Yeah.
be
the top of the street.
It's going to be the same
Not really.
everywhere. It doesn't
Anywhere.
prove anything.
It doesn't have to be the same, boss.
I don't get
The
that he's
distance-
not actually doing it. He's just drawing.
Do you know what a perpendicular is? Do you want to go through that again?
Assuming it, and then he's drawing it out.
Straight line, geometrically.
Right. Okay. So
And
he's
then-
going to draw a rectangle on a piece of paper and say,
Yeah, basically.
there you go. The
And but to his credit, he's saying we don't have to accept it, which.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't know.
It works with my geometry, doesn't it?
Sure. You do it that way, yeah.
Like can you get your model to work with my geometry?
I'm not sure what you mean by your geometry.
I can. If you take a circle, a segment of a sphere, the great circle, circumference of the sphere, just work with the circle at all points where the radius intersects the circle.
How do you define the circle, the curve?
Will be perpendicular to that radius. The radius is representative of vertical.
Yeah, totally
All
agree.
the way around that circle, all the way on all points of the surface of the sphere.
Yeah, bendy horizontal.
Tangent that is perpendicular. Now, there's geometry backing up our model. Now,
Is there? Do you know it?
yes,
Go on.
You just said.
a tangent is perpendicular to the radius, which is representative of the vertical.
Is where's that? Is that a part of the axioms of it? What
With the circle, with the sphere.
doesn't sound like Euclidean geometry. What sort of geometry are you
I'm
using?
not doing this with you.
Hey, Bev. Hey, Bev.
It gets tough, doesn't it?
The key here is that your geometry does not reflect the world as we in the reality.
Euclidean geometry does.
No, your geometry, the one where you draw the straight line and say
That's Euclidean geometry. Rules are very, very simple.
Hold on, Curve. I'm in the middle of a sentence. That's not the same thing as what the actual water line does in our world. And that's our point. Is you keep saying that this is the water line, this represents the water line. So anything you do with this water line is representative of the real world.
Water level.
You can call it whatever you say about it. The point is that it's not related to what the actual water line does. And that's what we're telling you.
Oh yeah. So you say that the water level curves, and that's fine.
So using Euclidean geometry, how would you actually take an area of a sphere? Can you explain that to me? Using Euclidean geometry. A surface area of a sphere.
I don't know.
Euclidean geometry.
I don't know. I've never gone into that.
Yeah, that's because you need to use non-Euclidean geometry for that.
Okay. Well, no, spherical trigonometry has been done for
No.
with Euclidean.
A surface area on the surface of a sphere.
Okay. Oh, so you're talking spherical geometry?
I'm talking about non-Euclidean versus Euclidean geometry.
Oh, just non-Euclidean, like just not Euclidean geometry.
No, it's a standard in maths called.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, non-Euclidean geometry is just not Euclidean.
That's right. It's not Euclidean, but
So,
it's a common phrase in geometry.
Euclidean geometry is the geometry that everybody knows. So, not that geometry is an other geometry that isn't the geometry that you know.
But generally refers to hyperbolic geometry.
Well, there's a few different forms of non-Euclidean geometry. That's why I was asking you, which geometry do you use? Because surveyors and all of that just use Euclidean geometry.
Well, not if they're doing surface area of a sphere, they don't.
Oh, okay. But we're not doing surface area of a sphere. We're talking about the water level.
So the way in which you're trying to map your Euclidean geometry to the actual reality of the world, it isn't matching up successfully.
Why?
Are,
That's how maps are made. That's why all maps are flat.
You could try to prove it if you want. You could try to prove it, but you're not trying to do that. That's what it seems like you're saying.
Trying to prove what?
You're just assuming it.
I don't have to prove how they make maps, do I? Like I'm telling you.
I'm not asking you how to prove how they make maps. I'm asking you to prove that the assumptions you're making about, say, the water line geometrically actually hold up when you measure things in reality.
Yeah. See, this is why I came into this saying level is a straight line.
Okay.
Which is wrong.
Which is wrong.
How do you measure things in reality?
Using tools.
See, this all started because we were talking about somebody who said that level rises to your eye line, and I said, "Don't be silly, can't do. That's one level down there.
In relation to something else.
That one level
is equidistant to something else.
Is level.
Is level. So therefore, you can have a bendy line that's level. You can have a straight line that's level.
No, you can't. That's an
As
oxymoron.
long as it is equidistant from the point that you're determining level from.
No.
So I gave you the example. If I have a wheel and the tire is not level with the hub, I'm going to have a very uncomfortable ride.
No, that's very wrong.
That's level.
No, Mick West got shut down. Mick West shut down Sean Hufford, I think, on that very point when Fight the Flat Earth brought it up. Like a circle isn't level, and a wheel isn't level.
It can be.
No, it
You're
can't.
referencing it to a second point.
No.
Where's the second point?
Level is horizontal, and plumb is vertical.
Not always, no.
So if I put up a shelf and that shelf is flat,
When is it not?
and the
is it not
marble
level?
rolls off
When
it,
it's
is it
when
level?
it's curved. That's when it's not horizontal.
Then it wouldn't be level, would it?
Yes, it would still be level. That's what the word means.
What?
So if it's curving, how's it level?
Level doesn't mean flat. Like you think.
That's a Sonic classic.
It has a few meanings. Level does. It's a word.
It's a few meanings.
Curve already posted a good definition of it, and the definition is very clear. It says a level surface is defined as a curved surface, which at each point is perpendicular to the direction of gravity at that point.
So is that all you take? Is like a definition?
That's one.
Well, that's what you're asking for. That's what you're asking for.
Right. Okay. So
And your
if I find a definition that says differently, would you go with that? Would you?
You will. You'll have to accept that multiple definitions exist, then, won't you?
It has to be applicable.
Yeah.
But this is semantics.
I mentioned that earlier.
The meanings of words. Yeah. Definitely.
There, you found another definition back there. So
Yeah.
Now you know there's multiple definitions of the word level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one you just posted, that is just like ours says. So that means that that's curved.
Do you see where it starts off? A horizontal plane or line, and then goes on.
Equal to something else.
Like, does that?
Of a
No,
canal.
that says an instrument. No, that says an instrument for indicating a horizontal line.
But
That's
wait,
a noun,
section
it's different.
of a canal from one lock to another, that is a totally different use of level.
That's level as in level.
Like
Yeah.
levels of a parking lot.
Yeah, that's not what you're.
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
the level you
Of
want
course it is.
to have.
So they just separated the horizontal and level there, did they?
It also says equal to something else in importance, which is
Yeah.
a key factor.
Can you see curved or bent or
Yes.
anything like that?
You know what a canal lock is, right, Beth? You know what that is, right?
A canal lock?
Yeah. When they say from one lock to another, you know what they mean by that, right?
Of course I do.
Okay, and you know that they're at different heights, right?
What the transition of the levels, the horizontal levels of the water in between.
The vertical, yeah.
Yeah. It's
when they say-
needed, isn't it? Because on your model, you just need to go a little bit further, and you'd eventually.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but that definition there is a noun, and it's referring to the fact that locks have different vertical levels.
Yeah, I know, and it's level in between.
That's not what it says, but okay.
Yeah, like that canal that I've sorted out. It comes from the Mersey, and then it goes up 3 locks, and it's 51 feet at that point. Then it goes for 27 miles before the next lock.
The wrong definition for the level.
The thing is, Beth, when you're presenting this to us, don't forget, from our point of view, the Earth is covered in oceans that are levels of water,
Yep.
in your language, that stretch for thousands and thousands of miles.
Yeah, they called
So all you're
it
doing-
water level and sea level, didn't they?
All you're
I'll give us
actually
that.
doing, well, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I'll come back to that. But all you're actually doing is giving us another example of that occurring. But, you know, that's an example of how we use level, as you say, sea level. There's sea level here in the UK, sea level over in the USA.
Yeah.
Our claim, or the mainstream claim, would be that the Earth is curving.
Yeah.
And yet, in both of those places, we've referred to a sea level.
Yeah.
Of zero elevation.
Mad, isn't it?
It isn't that we're confused. It's that sea level means level to the surface of the sphere. So, or equally distant from the center of the sphere. That's
Do they
what we're
keep
referring to.
this
So
information
this is an
from the
example.
general public?
Sea level is, well, no, clearly they don't, because we all use the term, you know, sea level is a commonly used term, and it's commonly proposed that the Earth is spherical. So these are two things that are commonly understood by everyone, or by most people.
Yeah.
At least English speaking people. And
Level
there's
is
no
horizontal.
confusion- And there's no
No, that's
confusion
not what I'm
over it.
saying. Just listen, then.
And there's no confusion over it. Sea level, in this case, means curving.
Can you show me where it says that? Anywhere in the definition of level, please?
Sure,
Well-
I'll post it again for you.
An actual definition from...
But I'm saying, without a definition, this is how it's commonly understood.
It's not commonly understood like that. It's like you are the secret keeper of the word curved level. It's an oxymoron. Nobody thinks that.
Hang on.
Of course they do.
Is the term sea level commonly understood? Is that something that is commonly used by, you know, generally by people?
The word level, yeah, it is.
No, not the word level. Sea level.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Salt water.
No, it's
Okay.
not. Is that
Yes, he says
commonly
yes.
used?
No.
Is that you're,
He says yes.
Yeah, water level is as well. It's all.
Is
Yeah.
it also commonly understood that the Earth is spherical?
Well, I don't know.
Well, you
That's
do
a,
know.
Yes,
You
you
do
do know. You do know.
I know. I don't know that. How do I know? All I see is horizontal water level.
Why are you, why just answer the question? He's asking you, do most people in the world believe the Earth is spherical?
I don't know. I don't know what most people believe because I don't get in other people's heads. It's got nothing of my concern.
Dave,
The whole
Dave,
flat
Dave,
Earth.
Dave,
Hang on. The whole flat
They've
Earth
railroaded
idea
you so hard
is
right now.
based on the fact that you believe something different to what the mainstream is.
No, I don't.
I
I
constantly refer to the mainstream. Of course, you're just avoiding what is
Of course he
inevitable
is.
here.
Of course he is. But if he's going to avoid it like that, there's nothing we can do about it.
You
Yeah,
guys
okay,
are
but
fair
tricking
enough.
him. You're tricking him.
No, I'm
We're not
not.
tricking him. We're asking real questions. And he's avoiding them. That's fine. He has a right to do that.
What he's saying is,
Veer away from his point.
no, what he's saying is that the only
Just
way
stop.
that level is ever understood is of a straight horizontal line opposed to another straight horizontal line. And I'm giving him an example of where that's not the case. And he's just avoiding accepting it because he knows full well that it is commonly understood by most people that the Earth is spherical. And he admitted himself that sea level is a commonly used term.
yeah.
So these two things are not in contradiction. We understand sea level to mean equidistant from the center of the sphere. That's
Yeah,
what it means.
That's what you think. You've just done that in your own head.
That's what everybody thinks.
Yeah. Well, you think that, but in reality, that's not what level means, is it?
Well,
Ben,
that is an example of reality where that is what level means.
Where?
But Bev,
The one I just provided. Hold on a minute. The one that I've just provided. It's a term that's used in reality.
Where?
Can't deny it.
You've just said it. That's the only reference you've got to it.
You just admitted that sea level is a commonly used term.
It is, as is water level, and level is used commonly.
And it's commonly understood by the people who use it that the Earth is spherical. Therefore, they're using the term level to describe something that curves.
In your head. In your head is the only place that happens.
In reality, that's how those terms are used in reality.
Commonly accepted, Bev. Now you know. Now you
Not
know.
in my head. That's how they.
I've seen it myself many times.
So,
But here's something that might be able to help Bev understand, right? I'm going to put up a shelf, right? And at both ends of the shelf are level to each other.
I don't know if you've got a level on it.
Right?
What level are you using?
Put it level on, and they're both equal distance from the floor to where I put them on the wall, right? So the shelf is level, yeah?
No, that's not what it means. It's not a distance from the floor. It's a horizontal position. Horizontal, like, doesn't move, does it? A horizontal is one position. If it's not horizontal, it's not horizontal. It's tilted to one side or the other.
Look at horizontal now.
The trouble is he's mixing up horizontal and perpendicular.
No, you're mixing up tangents.
Distance, then we can say something is level. So I can say that a slope is level to another slope if it's at the same angle. Yeah, I can say that a wheel is level
you
to
can't.
its hub if it's equidistant from
No.
the rim to the hub.
You're using level wrong there, mate.
Bev, you need to let me finish before you jump in, right?
Sorry,
so I've
Matt.
made sure that both ends are the same height from the floor. So then I put a spirit level on, and the spirit level tells me that both ends of the shelf are level, right? But that
Both ends?
the actual shape of the shelf itself is flat and straight. I could have a shelf the shape of a banana, but as long as both ends are level to each other, the shelf is level.
No.
But the shelf can be curved.
No.
If a plane maintains the same altitude above the surface of the Earth, it is flying level.
So if both ends of the shelf are at the same point, and the spirit level I put on it tells me it's level, then the shelf is level, irrespective of the shape of the middle of the shelf.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you ever done anything practical with use of a level or anything like that? Like actual, like, no, I'm not just saying like, you know, if you ever held a level in your hand. I'm asking you, have you ever practically used?
Your last proof was a diagram with two little stick men crying.
Yeah. It's good, isn't it? Ball in ball, as they're called.
I put up a sign.
That wasn't a proof, that was a question to ask you.
I've used a wheel level.
Sign are level to each other, but the middle of the sign is curved. Yeah, but both ends of the sign is level to each other.
All right, so you're going for A then in the diagram. There, everybody was saying A was definitely out. It can't rise.
Opposite side of that.
Anyway,
B is more accurate because of how you drew the men, but they're both Earth.
We drew the men.
You,
Did it more tears?
You're doing well, mate. It's good to hear you.
It is.
Yeah, you're doing all right. You're wrong about what level means.
Do you think?
Yeah.
And just saying it
You
looks
hope.
level and I know what level means doesn't make the Earth flat. You haven't done any experiments.
What experiments? Why do you have to do experiments? What are you talking
Prove
about?
the Earth's flat so I can believe you.
I don't like. It's not up to me to prove anything to you.
Okay.
That you have to prove it to yourself. You don't sound convinced of your proofs.
It seems
So
like
who
you
saw the
wanted to. When
Steelers game?
Hey, hold on, Josh. It seems like you wanted to when you came in and said you had proofs for us. So
No. I said no.
want proofs.
No.
But just
I came in just to find out which model you were using so I could carry on and finish my
Globe model, dude.
And then you said
Accepted model for 500 years.
Yeah.
One.
Saying things.
That's the one we're
You're
using.
saying things. So I mean, that seems like you have a point to prove, I guess.
If you don't want us to, if you're not trying to convince us of anything, then you're right. It's fine. You can, are bad for thinking you were.
I accept we have direct observations of Earth showing it's a sphere.
Okay, fair enough.
Good for you.
So, you're not going to try and compete with any of my proofs then? You'll look at them and then go ha 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 ha.
No, wait, you just said you weren't trying to prove anything to us. Now you are going to try to prove.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if I come back with something, you'll look at it and go, ah, right. I won't just say ha ha ha. I'll give you something to counter that, won't you?
If you come back and you say you have something that you want, hold on, Dross. If you come back and you say you have something that you want us to look at as a proof, you have something you want us to convince us, then we will engage with it with seriousness.
Okay, so
we won't just say ha ha ha.
I've just give you the geometric proof, right?
Wait.
I've give you an idea of the geometric proof that I can bring for Euclidean geometry and the water level being horizontal. Can you get your geometry together to show me to counter that?
Yes.
At least. Sweet.
Yes.
And I'll come back with me water level proof and show you that.
And your proof is that the water is level when you look at two different places, so therefore it's level all the way?
Well, yeah, right. It's Euclidean geometry proof. It's like pretty simple, you know.
Right, because there couldn't be any variation in between those two places at all, right?
Well, I'm just sort of saying that Euclidean geometry was based on the measurements of the Earth, so it's not hard to recognise that a vertical is a plumb and level is horizontal, because that's how the geometry was made to represent reality.
Why are you talking over, like, fundamental facts?
He's
well,
repeating.
If you wanted to drop that plumb bob and you wanted to check the angles on which you had that tangent, right?
What tangent?
It would change as you went further down.
Where did you just pull that tangent from? Are we talking horizontals?
Yeah, that plumb bob that you did all the way down. Like, as you went down to the equator...
The plumb bob wouldn't be a tangent. The plumb bob would be a vertical.
It would be a tangent to the plumb bob, correct. Okay.
What would be a tangent to the plumb bob?
You get what I'm saying? That angle.
No, perpendicular.
It would move until you got 90 degrees at the equator, and it would move down. And as you went up, it would move up. As you went south, it would move down. So that's kind of weird, isn't it?
I haven't got a clue what you're talking about.
Well, it's called gravity. It pulls everything towards the
Yeah, but that's not what verticals are, though, is it? That's not.
I'm talking about the way a plumb bob behaves. Hold on.
You're not
put
talking.
a simple tool. You put a Merle.
You're bringing in another point.
Yeah.
That doesn't relate to what he's talking about. So stand back. Stand back then. Because you're not talking to what he's talking about.
Yes, he is, Merle.
No, he's not. He's talking that the plumb bob is vertical. The plumb bob is the vertical. Do you understand that?
No, you've made me wrong.
Correct.
Do you understand that? Yes or no?
Jesus Christ.
Do you understand that? Yes or no?
Yeah, go ahead. You good, Merle.
So do you understand that?
I understand. Yes.
Or no?
Merle, shut the fuck up.
Do you understand that a plumb bob establishes vertical? Yes or no?
Yes, Merle.
Thank you.
Do you understand that if you establish a tangent, that as you diverge in the distance,
Merle's just asked you if you understand, and then you've come back with, look, I've got a circle with a tangent.
Perpendicular to that.
You brought up the tangent.
Yeah.
No,
you brought up the tangent.
Vertical.
There's an important point here. When you take a measurement with a plumb bob, you're measuring a point.
A vertical.
The point that I think that the other guy who was talking was trying to make is when when you take multiple points, you can then look at the relationships between them.
Yeah. Vertical.
Yeah, and the relationship between them, when we actually combine those observations together, is that we have about 1 degree per 70 miles change.
Okay, so verticals aren't parallel. You have a different geometry, because Euclidean geometry.
On a sphere,
but,
would verticals be parallel?
But that's not what we're talking about, is it?
I am. I'm
right,
now
okay.
on a sphere,
in reality, a vertical is a vertical. It is not a radius.
In what reality?
What reality?
Reality, this one.
Relative to a circle, you're incorrect.
No, there's no such thing as a vertical.
There's no such thing as
on a circle.
I can take a point from, and I can go 90 degrees perpendicular to that point away from the object.
That's not a vertical, is it?
That is going to be a vertical
No.
when everything is being drawn to the center.
You're getting confused between shapes and reality.
I disagree with you. If you want to cite something that says I am wrong, I will read it, and as always, I will say I'm wrong if that citation is actually demonstrated.
I think the problem you're doing, and what a lot of you do, is you take reality model and then imagine the curve and the model that you have, and then stand on a big circle.
This is about geodetic surveying and measurements, so I disagree with your point.
Okay. Do you know geodetic surveying and when they take into effect? You know, when do they come in? When do they work?
Geodetic surveying, generally when we've got large areas to map.
Right. How large? Do you know?
Over 27, 28 miles square, something like that.
Yeah, like some people say 250 kilometers area. Well, I don't know what that means. And then other people say it's 100 square miles before geodetic surveyors.
I've never seen a hard and fast rule for that. Okay. It may be a convention when they employ it.
So until the geodetic surveyors come in, you know the other surveyors that work.
I chose 27 miles as I know that you can tell half a degree difference. The tolerance is good enough to do half a degree.
Okay.
What's that about the other surveyors?
What about the fact that there is geodetic surveying and the need to do it?
Do you know how the other surveyors work?
Why does it become
I want
necessary?
to hone in on that point.
Yeah.
Why does it become necessary? Hone in on that point.
Because, like, I'm just asking if you know how the other surveyors that work before your geodetic surveyors come in.
Why do they need to?
Well, because
if planar surveying is fine for the entirety of the Earth, it's just fine.
Yeah.
Why is there any need for geodetic surveying?
Because you have to you guys have to believe that there's somebody there that can measure a curvature. If there were only normal planar surveyors around, it would become really apparent to you guys, wouldn't it? That you've got nothing to go to.
It's a
you can't take local planar surveys and stitch them together to form a representation of the Earth.
No curvature is calculated in planar surveying.
You don't even understand what's going on here.
What do you mean?
If you just take a bunch of local surveys and try to put them together, they're not going to go.
They're like flat maps, aren't they? That's what you do. You put a load of flat maps together.
Larger errors over larger areas.
Yeah,
like a patchwork quilt or a checkerboard or something like that.
Just a load of flat maps all over the place, and there'd be contour lines on them showing the topography of the land.
Equator. Longitudes converge. Why is that?
I haven't got a clue what you're talking about.
The distance between lines of
We're talking about normal surveys that occur under 27 miles. You know how far, how much curvature do you think is uncalculated in that?
You're not going to address reality.
Well, I am addressing reality with the water level by telling you it's horizontal.
They're hiding in your little shell.
Yeah, but you've just said that geodetic surveyors only come in after 27 miles. So before that, would the
after some point
planar survey? Well,
okay. Mine was a kind of a guess based on the fact that I know they can measure a half degree on a leveler.
But like I say, I've got a 27-mile canal that I say is horizontal water in it.
Call it a 27-mile canal.
Because that's how long it is. The bit in between locks.
Oh,
Just one stretch of water in between locks for 27 miles. It's nice, isn't it? It was the best example of level water I could find, because if I was trying to measure curvature, that's what you go to, isn't it?
Done. If you can prove it's planar plat, then I'm on your team.
I've just done geometrically. I've already proved it.
No.
Yeah.
You got a lot of presuppositions in there.
What? Planar surveyors use Euclidean geometry. I used Euclidean geometry. I transposed the work that surveyors had used into a Euclidean geometry, and to show you.
I'll just wait till you show your proof so we can show how you cocked it all up.
Okay. Well, I've basically tried. Any of you guys that are willing to have a look into the geometry or whatever, you can work on that. Who's the top guy of you lot have for working geometry and curve? Is it your surveying team? Are we talking main surveyor and Jesse Kozlowski, or like who's your top boys?
Create an argument from authority.
I'm not. I'm just asking you who's the good guys that you have, because I'd like to
present your evidence and we can go and research it, and if it has validity.
Okay.
I don't know if he's the main guy, but George Natiuk, he's quite adept at mathematics, and he's done a series of experiments related to the Bedford level experiment where he measured curvature. So you could look at his video.
He's the guy for me to show this to, then. George.
Find out how this stuff works. Because ultimately, I don't know why you're not already doing these experiments to try and find this out.
Experiments?
Yeah, the Bedford level experiment.
I've been there. Done it. I've been there.
You should do that experiment and find out.
I've been there.
Well,
done it. We sat in the dinghy with my lad with the camera, with Roxanne. Yeah, we did it.
Okay. You did it already?
Yeah. It's not an experiment, though, is it? It's just sitting there looking at stuff through a camera.
One of the problems I've got is when we do measurements. So if you do things like radar's a really, really interesting one.
Yeah.
Because it's something we use every day. We know it's accurate, etc. And we can measure curvature.
It's like a BP signal that you get back again. Yeah, that sort of radar.
There are multiple types of radar.
Yeah.
You can do a BP signal reflection back. It's all about reflection. But yeah, so we can actually look at our horizon on a radar. We can actually understand what we can see at sea level.
What does it beep on to come back?
It has a limit that it can reach. So we can look at things like cliffs. We can look at things like mountains. We can look at things like my favorite one, lighthouses.
Yeah, that's objects in the offing, isn't it? It's not like the horizon, because there's nothing to bounce.
You can actually let me finish a point.
And I was just curious as how with the horizon, because that's how you opened it, and then you started talking about beepy things bouncing off objects. That's all I was inquiring about. It seemed like you got confused and mixed up.
This is class. That's called a grinding halt ball. It's not moving either.
Call me not for being prepared to have someone talk over me when I'm halfway through a point, and then I forget where I'm going, and it's really painful. And I've already had an interaction today with Branch where he's done that a lot. Not really interested.
It's a hard day.
You were just outclassed then, basically.
Mo, you're entitled to your opinion.
Pound for pound. On every point, you were flanked. He didn't get drawn into your bullshit. And he kept it fundamental and factual and based on reality. Well done, dude. That was fucking epic.
Cheers, dude. Plenty more to come. I'll be coming back later with me proof. Maybe later tomorrow or whatever. See you later, guys.
See you.